Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So firstly, I'd like to just apologize for the gap of time I've had between videos. Client work has been incredibly busy over the last couple of months, which I'm very pleased about, but it's meant I've had absolutely no time to do much print on demand or much of my own stuff. So that's the reason, so I apologize. Secondly, thank you so much to all the new subscribers that I've had off the back of my Redbubble content. It's been really awesome to see so much interest and so many people responding to that content. So off the back of my original Redbubble tips video, which you can view over here, I was contacted by someone from Redbubble, not in an official capacity, just someone who wanted to give me some extra tips. So that was really cool, and I took advantage of him and I asked him a few other questions that I've been getting a lot of myself and a few things I was curious about. So I thought, why don't I package that and all the other questions I've been getting into its own video and give you guys some updated tips. I would like to reiterate that the original tips video is pretty much good as it is. There's only one point that I want to re-clarify in this one, but other than that, all those tips are still good. And before we get into the main beefy content of this video, I'd just like to thank everybody who's sent me emails and DMs and messages and asked questions and given me advice and all that kind of thing. I read every single one of them. I'm sorry I haven't responded to all of them, but hopefully some of the questions that you've asked in those messages will be answered today. So the first point I want to bring up is the amount of keywords that you use in each one of your designs. So I think in my original video, I advised using all of them if you could. As long as they were relevant, try and use as many as you possibly can, up to the 50 point max. And there's been some further discussion on some of the Facebook groups that I'm involved in whether it's actually better to use fewer keywords, but as long as they're very relevant to that design. So instead of using, say, 40, use 10 very descriptive keywords. So I asked this question to the Redbubble guy, and he actually said that it's better, the sweet spot is 20 to 25, as long as they're all relevant. When you start kind of pulling keywords out of the air that are kind of semi-relevant, just as filler, that's less helpful to the algorithm. So 20 to 25 keywords is the sweet spot. And I actually came across a blog post Redbubble put up recently explaining this. So if you have a look down below in the description, I've put a link to that blog post. Just as a general rule, make sure you're keeping up to date with the Redbubble blog. Some of the information gets updated because things are always changing. So just make sure you're keeping up to date. Secondly, now this is something I've never done. I've never promoted or shared my stuff on social media in an official kind of capacity in order to get sales, but it was strongly hinted that this is something I really should be doing. According to some data scientists within Redbubble, you're 500% more likely to sell if you're sharing your work. So this is my goal. I'm going to try and properly promote my stuff in the new year, hopefully if I have a little bit more time than I have now. But for you guys, if you can, make an Instagram account, especially for your shop, and just share the hell out of your stuff. And another really juicy tip that I got was regarding Redbubble promotions. So say there's a 20% off on hoodies sale on Redbubble. Make sure you're going in and marking up your hoodies by that extra 20%. So you're not making any less margin than you would be getting if it wasn't on sale. So just keep up to date on any upcoming promotions, and you might not put it up to the full 20%, just bump it up a little bit so you're at least not making less money on that sale item. So tip number 4, this is not really a tip, but it's something I've noticed people talking about online, is they're saying that they're spending all of this time making holiday items, whether it's Christmas or Easter stuff or Halloween stuff, and they're not really getting any sales. And what you really need to remember is that you're competing against the best-selling, say, Halloween stuff from last year when you're uploading your stuff this year. So unless you've got a really unique design, or you can get loads of people coming in from outside, you can promote your stuff well enough to get them to buy on Redbubble, try not to focus all of your time doing these designing, especially for holidays, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be doing all these very, very specialist designs, not going to get sales, and then say at the end of Halloween you haven't made any sales, or you made very few, and you've spent all of that time perhaps for nothing. So be careful of where you're spending your time. Try not to spend all your time on seasonal stuff, and make more evergreen. Evergreen is what is going to get you more regular sales throughout the year. I mean, if you have a really, really good idea for a Christmas shirt, do it. But try not to spend all your time in the lead up to a big holiday on just those designs. So the next tip is with regards to how much you actually upload to your shop. Now, some people, try and upload, say, 5 to 10 designs a week, maybe 1 a day. That's fine if you've got the designs and you're uploading, perfect. But really what you need to be making sure is you're uploading at least 1 design per month. This keeps your shop relevant within the algorithm. So if you've got, say, 500 designs in your shop and you've been away from Redbubble for, say, 2 months, it's probably going to hurt you a little bit. So just make sure you're uploading at least 1 thing every month, especially if you have a big shop and you're not able to upload as much as you would have liked in a period of time. 1 a month at least. Another tip I received was make sure that you buy any of your own designs from a separate account to your selling account. So apparently there's a funky thing in the algorithm that will judge whether an item is sellable based on whether it's received any sales. So for instance, I've had a design on my shop for nearly a year now, never had any sales. I got the first sale of that item probably about 2 weeks ago, and since then I've had another 4. So suddenly it's appearing more in the most relevant filter on Redbubble when someone searches that particular phrase. So if a design has at least 1 sale, it's going to rank better when people are searching for that particular thing. So if you do need to buy some of your designs for whatever reason, do it from a separate account to your selling account, and to the algorithm it's going to show that those designs are potentially more saleable than something else. Next tip is a weird one. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it's got to do with royalty-free images. I know a lot of people that I've spoken to and who are part of the groups that I'm a part of on Facebook and elsewhere have used a lot of royalty-free images. So the question has always been, how much do you have to change this clip art or this image in order for it to be okay for you to use? Because even though something is royalty-free, a lot of times there is a disclaimer that says you must change the image in a certain way to be able to use it, basically free of charge, royalty free. So it means that if you need a picture of a deer, don't just pull a clip art picture of a deer that's royalty free, chuck it on a shirt as is, and you're basically selling someone else's work as is without any changes. Whereas if you're making a really detailed forest scene and you've got animals all over and you just need a picture of a deer, that makes more sense, because the deer, yes, it's royalty free, but you're not making it the focus of your whole design. It's just a part of your design. So be really, really careful about ripping images from these royalty free sites, and make sure you're reading the fine print, because really it's someone else's work. They're providing it to you royalty free under certain conditions. So make sure you're respecting that artist by sticking to those conditions. There's always talk about how much do you have to change something for it to be okay to use. Just use your judgment. Is the thing that you've taken online the focus of your design, or does it just make up a part of a bigger design? And use that as a basis on whether it's okay to use it as you're using it. Please don't steal other people's stuff and just chuck it on a shirt. Not cool. Okay guys, so this is my last tip, but it's not really a tip. So thank you for staying this long. Please don't turn away now, because I think this advice is something that a lot of people might need to hear. A bit of a reality check, if you will. So you've got your Redbubble shop, you're following all the advice you've been receiving online and feedback and all of that kind of stuff, and you're still not making sales. If you can honestly say that you've tried every single tip and your research is solid and you're promoting and you're still not getting sales, the problem might just be your designs. You've got to start being very, very critical of your work, and something that you like, other people may not like. And sometimes I see people sharing stuff on Facebook, looking for likes or follows, and the designs are not good. And the problem is with people designing and sharing stuff on Facebook to other potential sellers is that people are very selfish. They just want you to like and follow their stuff, so they'll like and follow you. But really, I don't see a lot of creative, constructive criticism. That was difficult. And as a designer, this is what you need to get used to. I did art and design at college and at university. And one of the things you really have to get used to when you're doing any kind of creative degree or foundation diploma or whatever it is criticism. We often had to go in the front of our class, put our work up on the big screen, and our lecturer would rip it to pieces, encourage the rest of the class to rip our work to pieces. And you learn how to take it and you learn how to grow from that. And it makes you into a better designer. And I'm not talking about, art is subjective. Some people may like it, some people won't. If someone gives you a bit of constructive criticism, don't bash them for it. And try and listen to what people are saying, because it's only going to make you better. And if you don't, and you're still not selling and you're wondering why, recognize your weaknesses and your strengths. And if you're really serious about your print-on-demand journey, you might have to change things up to actually get where you want to be. So be real with yourself. Is this something that you're good at? Is this something that you can make money with? Or is it something that you're putting all this time and effort into for very little return? And there's a lot of people that boast about all the sales that they're making and all this money that they're making. And it's hard not to think, I want to be exactly like you and be successful as you. The reality is it's not for everybody. So maybe it's better to take a step back before you put any more time into something. Or like I say, change it up. Still be involved, but maybe less on the design front and more on the marketing side of things. Anyway, that's my harsh reality to you. At the same time, I don't give up too soon. You know, I didn't get sales for months, so until I changed things up myself. So I don't want to discourage you from continuing. But the point I'm making is, if you've done everything you possibly can and you're still not getting sales, think about it. Okay guys, you have a fantastic Christmas, and I'll probably see you in the new year where we can dissect all the things we did right and wrong in 2019, how much we earned, that kind of stuff, and just keep going, keep improving. Have a great Christmas everyone, and I'll probably see you in the new year. Bye.